Good morning everyone, we're back in Sheep House Wood, and that's a novel way of making a little bridge over the stream with a cattle feeder. I put that there to stop the cattle going through, but the water still goes underneath and drains on down, and then we've used this part of it to support the railway sleepers. And as I'm talking, Mabel's chewing up a dead bird or a dead rabbit or something. Anyway, she's chewing it. She's found it. It's her prey. At least she's having it on my feet and she's not snuck off with it. So we've come this way through Sheep House today, because I said the other day in the videos we're going to explore this track. I've been up here before 2 or 3 years ago. It's steep and it's wet of course now. It curves around this corner here and opens up. The sycamore here, that's one. That's the bark of a sycamore. There's one there. There's not many in this wood, but there's a few on this bank here. And there's oak, of course. Lots of ivy climbing up. And many people think, oh, ivy on your house, ivy on your sheds, it'll just damage your mortar. Well, it'll damage mortar if it's really old, obviously, but it doesn't want to rip out your mortar. It wants to climb up to the light, and that's what it's using the trees for. Symbiotic relationship between the tree and the ivy. They're benefiting each other. And whether the ivy's getting more out of it than the tree, there's probably protection issues as well for the tree. But that's the way ivy have developed, so it doesn't need to develop a strong trunk. It can just climb. So the tendrils on the end just climb. So they'll climb up anything, up your house, up your garage. They're superb. So as long as you keep them out of your guttering, all this extended growth, and maybe even as it thickens up, put some wires for it to climb up as well on the side of a house. And then once it gets to the ridge of the house roof and you start to get to the guttering, then obviously you need to be up and maintaining. That's what puts a lot of people off. But it's such good, you know, if every single house in the UK had climbing plants up the side of it, just imagine how beautiful it'll look. You know, gardens obviously would have a little bit more work and people to maintain them for you once, twice a year, like doing hedges. But is that a big price to pay for having these things? And it would increase. It would just increase the overall biodiversity of the area around your house. And there's a little hole there which was built for wildlife to get through, not specifically for sheep, I believe, but for wildlife to get through, which is grand, badgers and the like. So actually we've come to this top corner and it climbs over into this field and up the side there, and then there was sheep in here yesterday. Mabel's just jumped straight over. There's no sheep in. There's logs down. There's obviously been some tree work gone off. I'm just working out whether we go along that route today, because I've done it before and I lost the route somewhat. I'm going to do it today. I'm not feeling quite as adventurous today, but let's do it. Let's do the style. So Mabel's eating sheep milk. Come on! So this is what we've got. So we're out into the open field now. And it is lovely. There's some big oaks there that have just been cut, left in the field. So whether they'll get dragged away in the future for firewood. So the path and the route goes up to these rope swings up here by the looks of things. But I've not looked at this area on the map. You see they've left all that wood at the side there and all the branches further over for wildlife. The sheep are now in that top field. So we'll work his way up here. So I'm no concern there's livestock in here, otherwise Mabel will be on the lead. She's fine. And we can hear the road again, then we get a grand view then down to Underbank Reservoir. Which I'll pan round to now. And just in the distance there you can see the activity centre and the white tents. The Manchester Road in the bottom there. So we're walking up here and you get these fantastic rope swings on this huge big ash tree. The size of that and the girth, and it's split into two as well. So the difficulties with aging this one, at least 200 years old you've got to say. A majestic tree just on the line of a field, and thankfully it's been left for posterity. Look at that, straight up. It's 80 foot tall. And the sheep are next door. They look like the Texels. Then we've got this old hedge line here. Hazel and holly hedge line and hawthorn. Mabel! 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 Come on. Always an issue with the dog, especially gun dogs, the amount of other feces that they eat when they're out in the field. So she's going to have some very, very rough stomachs later on and diarrhoea, but not a lot we can do about it. I keep her on the lead, she'll still eat it. There's an old bench that had been fashioned out of that rotting tree log. So somebody's gone to the trouble of fashioning that. It's nice. A bit wet at the moment. So this line seems to follow the line of an old track up here, and I see in the distance a gate. Babe, come on. It takes you right up here. And what I like about it up here is obviously the view. Because now you can see down to Smithymoor where we live. The steps straight down to Underbank. Fantastic view. Now then, we've come to this little gate. I see a chain round it. Mabel, well, it's just a chain. It's not keeping us out as such. It's just a chain. So it's a tight squeeze. Come on then. I think we've hit something here that's made this. Let's see, we're back onto wide angled, and there's sycamore in here, and there's big mature sycamore. This seems to be full of beech and sycamore here. Classy view that. Just the noise of the traffic, but because it's an easy close walk to home, it's something worth putting up with. And of course, like any bypass road, the old Manchester Road used to run through the heart of Stocksbridge. Doesn't now, of course, and this is the bypass road, a few years old now, and it's surrounded by trees as well. Keeps some of the pollution and the noise in, and obviously the wildlife value can't be underestimated. And then we've got this other little woodland on the hillside here, full of oak, beech, a few sycamore dotted about. And this lovely little path. Years ago, WW loved PB. Do they still love each other now? Inside of that beach. And then we've got another hole here. Mabel's going for it. Another hole here. Wildlife hole. They have different names in different parts of the countries. I don't know what they call them around here. I've never heard of a particular name. I know they've been built for wildlife, and then you can also obviously let your stock through into a forested area or into the next field. Come on then. So I see buildings up ahead, and I know, having looked at the map, there's the old Underbank Hall down here and some farms. And when I came down this way a couple of years ago, I lost the route a little bit. I'll take us to the end here. And then, because we're getting close to the building, I'll put Mabel on and pause the recording. You see, that's a sycamore there, it's huge. Another tree, bigger than the ash further down. Probably 90 foot, that one. There's some old sycamores that like this bank here. Big beach ahead here. And then somebody has planted in some extra trees down this side. Things are getting cool. And then there's also a tree line, which would have been an old hedge line, I guess, down there. It's been left in to grow. And that track that runs further down. Mabel's having a right good jumping a week about again. This bit, she's loving it. Must be some sort of scent or something she's enjoying. And that's Stocksbridge there in the distance, down to the bottom. And somebody's put some hawthorn, blackthorn in across here. Whether it goes, yeah, it does look like it goes all the way down, which is really nice, just to hide this fence. There were funding for these sorts of things a few years ago, if there still is. Look at that there, massive big old tree root, just rotting away into the ground. So we come to this end, and this is where I'm going to put her on now, because the track goes further down. So I'll pause things just here. So now remember what the issue is. There's a gate here, and it leads onto people's back gardens. So I've just gone up through there. It doesn't seem to give me any route round to get around the front of Underbank Hall, which I think this is, made into houses. I think it is. So this is what I did last time. I came down, just got some hens here, round the side, and worked my way down over a gate at the bottom, I believe. Just down here. I'm just being a bit wary, my maybe pulling a lot. Did I try and cut through here? There's a gate here, you see, and somebody's... It all looks to be residential, but again, people with no desire to have walking routes coming through the land, even though they may be legal, quite often try and disguise them, because they don't want people walking through, of course. And that route may have been there for hundreds of years. And again, when we're looking at ownership and use of land, these things sometimes or quite often are our only way to get around the countryside without people challenging us, i.e. landowners. Right, Mabel's been a little bit too frisky. Come here, Mabel. She's following her scent again, so I don't think there's anything in this top corner, because I remember coming down, so I remember walking down to this bottom corner here and climbing the gate. There is a... Mabel, come here. There is a gate in this bottom corner. Mabel's picked up a scent, so that's her primary focus. And then we're running down close to the Manchester Road here. Now, is that a stile in the top corner? I don't think it is, you know. Let's go and have a little explore, but I don't think it is. No. I can't see any obvious route over there. What is it? Did I look at that? I'm usually very thorough when I'm trying to find routes. I can see that somebody's been up here. Enjoying this underfoot because I've just got my running trainers on. It's really boggy on this bank, so I can feel myself getting wet. There's something here. Or is it just wire? There's another little animal route through there, and that's narrow enough to not let sheep through, but let wildlife through. Badgers will get through there, and other things, hedgehogs. No, it just comes to this top corner and down over there. There's no obvious route here, so we're going to have to do what we did last time. I feel like somebody's been putting dams across the river down there, across the stream. So whoever owns this wood is doing things to the watercourse. That's the beach again in this. So this is another clough or another little valley down this side. It's grand at the bottom down here. How that's, watch the wire, Mabel, how that has rotted away there and left that beautiful hole. The rest of the tree looks as though it's surviving sycamore. But that's fantastic there for wildlife, and there's been some sort of fire in it as well, so whether it's been struck by lightning. So the watercourse runs down here quite fast actually in the bottom, and down and under, and we come down to this gate in the bottom. So that second gate wasn't openable, the first one was, so it was low enough for Mabel to get underneath. So there's this track here into the field, and there's another one at the end. And this is the road that leads up to Penistone and Oxspring just here. So we'll try and get through this one or over it. So I've just come down Underbank Lane now, back down to the bottom area of the reservoir and the car park. And that route through I have done before, actually. I found it before, and that's Underbank Lane where the cars are coming down. There's quite a few things to discover up there. Looks like the old railway line as well, which runs down into Stocksbridge. So I was unaware of that, so that's something else to look at. There's an old bridge there, and that goes under the road there, so it wasn't easy to film. That's why I'm just talking about it rather than filming it. And we're going to go back up, and this is Underbank car park here. So we're back round, so we've done a full circular of that little route there, which I like that one. That's a handy little route, that. Downsides of it, if you've got a dog, the issue with livestock, obviously, and sheep, but there was no sheep in that field today. There's a lovely little woodland going along. Come on. And lots of mature trees. Downsides, the traffic, obviously you can hear the traffic. And you're quite close to the road as well. But it's close to Sheffield. Handy for the car park here. So we're going to work our way up this old Manchester road here. This is now all defunct except for the house at the top. So this traffic would have run straight up through from Sheffield here, straight up, and joined the road further up since the bypass has been built. All that problem is solved.